Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I'm going to be doing a versus video between the Nike PG4 and the Nike KD12. So both of them are very nice performers. There is a little bit of a difference in price. The KD12 is going for 150 bucks. The PG4 is only 110 bucks. The $40 price difference is pretty significant. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones. So I would say it's pretty similar. On the clean court, incredible bite. Very nice traction on the clean court with a nice loud squeak. But on dust, both of these shoes aren't the best. So the KD12 I would say is a little bit worse. They both pick up dust pretty quickly, and they're both kind of hard to wipe off. And not super hard, but you have to wipe a few times to wipe off all the dust. But the KD12 is a little bit worse in that, if you let too much dust build up, it slides out a lot more than the PG4s. The PG4s, if there's a little bit too much dust, you just slide out a little bit. The KD12, you slide out a lot more. So the KD12 is a little bit worse in that aspect. Like picking up dust and wiping the dust is pretty much the same. As far as durability goes, neither of these shoes seem very durable. The KD12, I have a lot of fraying. And since these lines are separated, I don't know why they do this. They put a lot of lines going through this outsole and makes it easier to move. So durability does not seem good in the KD12. Also in the PG4s, it doesn't seem very good. You have nubs inside these circles, and I don't have a lot of ripping off. I guess on the side here, on the perimeter of the shoe, usually where a lot of wear and tear happens, I do have tearing. And both of the rubber outsoles are soft, so durability doesn't seem good in either of the shoes. A lot of you guys were saying the KD12 solid rubber outsole was really good even on dust, but that I haven't tried it yet. So I'm just gonna have to give the edge to the PG4s because it's slightly better on dust. Alright, moving on to the heel to toe transition is very smooth in both of the shoes. You have a nice curved shape here in the heel, nice curved shape in the forefoot, and they're both easily flexed in the forefoot as well. The one thing I would say the PG4 does a little bit better is making the shoe, especially in the heel when you're running, a little bit smoother because there is a lot more heel compression. The KD12 is caged heavily here, especially in the heel and also on the lateral side. So you don't get that heel compression as much. Alright, moving on to the cushioning. So the cushioning is kind of similar but also kind of different. Both of these shoes uses a Strobel unit, but they're different cushioning systems. So the KD12 uses a full-length zoom Strobel, and the PG4 uses a full-length air Strobel unit. And personally for me, I like the air Strobel unit a little bit better. It still gives you a slight bit of bounce like when you're running, but it's just more soft. You feel that compression, I don't know why Zoom feels more bouncy. Isn't it weird? Because they're both plastic airbags. I don't really know if the Zoom fibers have anything to do with that. Because like I said, they're both plastic units filled with air. So I don't understand the technology behind it. Maybe the air sole unit has less PSI. I don't know. But yeah, the Zoom definitely feels a lot bouncier. So if you want more of a bouncier feel, and of course you guys already probably know what Zoom feels like, then go with the KD12. Also, another thing I like about the PG4s is that the foam is really soft and it's not caged. The KD12 is heavily caged here in the heel and also on the lateral side, which I don't think was the best idea. The PG4, there's a lot more heel compression as well as compression in the forefoot just from the foam. So that also feels nicer. Impact protection seems a little bit better, even though the KD12 is still really nice with the Zoom unit. Court feel I would say is pretty much the same. I wouldn't say it's the best court feel ever, but it's also not horrible. You feel a little bit higher up off the ground because of the Strobel units in both of the shoes. So yeah, personally for me, I would say the PG4 does cushioning a little bit better in my opinion. But if you want that overall bouncier cushion, and I guess a little bit more responsive as well, go with the KD12s. The KD12 is still a really nice option for cushion. Alright, moving on to the materials. The materials are pretty different. In the PG4s, you have a mesh and then an underlaying material with this one booty upper, which consists of a polyester type of material. Overall, it's pretty thin. I would say the KD12 is a little bit thinner, and they both conform to your foot pretty well. In the KD12, you have a really thin screen mesh, and then quad axial flywire underneath that, and then another underlying material underneath the quad axial flywire. On foot, the PG4 feels a little bit cozier, because with this textile mesh, it just feels a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more knit-like. The KD12 is just overall very thin and very minimal. Here in the ankle area, the KD12 has a good bit of padding, but the PG4 has a lot more. And there's also a lot of padding here in the Achilles area. So that's what I think makes the PG4 a really tight fit, which we'll get into in fit. And this padding pushes your foot forward, which makes the fit lengthwise very, very short. And also here in the tongue, I mean, the PG4 has a little bit of tongue, but the KD12 has a fly knit tongue, which is very well padded. It feels really comfortable on the foot. For the materials, I would tie it up. I wouldn't say the materials are very quality, but overall they get the job done, and they're both a little different. So as far as the fit goes, go true to size on the KD12 and go up half a size for the PG4s. Like I said, the padding in the heel area, that's what I think is pushing your foot forward. As far as width goes, they're both very narrow. The KD12 feels a lot more narrow as you break it in, because it doesn't break in as much. It doesn't stretch out as much as the PG4s. This textile mesh material in the PG4 stretches out a lot quicker and a lot more than the KD12. So it is a little bit more lenient in that way. So if it's a little tight on you at first, the PG4 you'll be good. The KD12, you'll be okay. I mean, it stretches out a little bit, but it'll still be tight. And then for both of the shoes, it's a really, really snug fit in the toe box area. So if you have a wide or thick foot at all, you should probably stay away from both of the shoes. I mean, even if you went up half a size or even a full size, I don't think it justifies having that much toe space lengthwise. For support and lockdown, I didn't have any issues for lateral containment, but I would say if you are heavier and a little bit shiftier and you're doing a lot more lateral movements, I would say the KD12 is the better option because you actually have the foam coming up to cage you. The PG4, you don't really have anything. I guess the foam does come up just a little bit, and you do have the synthetic material, which does help, but it's not as much as the foam in the KD12. As far as ankle support goes, I mean, the KD12 is a mid-cut, but you don't really feel any type of ankle support. It's kind of soft, and it doesn't tighten around your ankle that much, even if you do tighten the laces a lot. But if you want a little bit of something on your ankle, just for that psychological factor, then I guess the KD12 would be the better option. And as far as lateral stability, they're both good. You know, you have, there's no outrigger, but they're both pretty wide and low bases. So I don't really have any type of lateral instability. One thing I do like about the KD12 better is that there is a little bit of an outsole curvature. So the rubber does come up a lot more on the medial side, and it's a little bit rounded. So it's kind of like an outsole curvature found in Kyrie's line, but not to that extent. So, you know, when you're doing these types of movements, you get a little bit more grip. The PG4 doesn't have anything like that. So if you do, I mean, I didn't really experience any type of slipping out or anything when I do this, but just feels a little bit more smooth because of this rounded shape in the KD12. Alright, as far as the weight goes, the KD12 is 12.31 ounces average weight, and then the PG4 is 12.13. So the PG4 is overall a little bit lighter, but it's negligible. You can't really feel the weight difference. So they're both very light feeling shoes. Not the most minimal that I've ever felt, like comparing it to the Curry 6 or the Curry 4 lows, but they also don't feel heavy or bulky at all. And they're both really responsive shoes. I would say the PG4 you would feel a little bit slower in because the cushion setup is a little bit softer, especially with the soft foam and the full length air strobo unit. So I would say the KD12 is overall the more responsive shoe, but it wasn't to the point where it was a big problem for me. As far as ventilation goes, ventilation is pretty good in both of the shoes. The screen mesh, there's a lot of airflow. I mean, there is an underlaying material, but it's pretty thin, and as well as a textile mesh in the PG4. Durability, I don't think either of these shoes are very good, especially with the outsoles and also the materials. Step-in comfort, I would say the PG4s, because that's just me. I like the air strobo unit a little bit better. But if you like the zoom unit, of course, the KD12 is still really comfortable. As far as the aesthetics go, I would say I like the KD12s a lot more. The PG4, I don't like the silhouette. I still don't think this is a great looking shoe, but there are some really cool colorways coming out. Like the KD12 didn't really have any cool colorways. Like, I don't really like this colorway too much. But anyways, tell us your thoughts on the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I mean, obviously, if you want to save money, go with the PG4s. The PG4 is incredible. If you want the overall better performer, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard for me. I mean, the zoom unit and the cushion setup feel kind of similar, but not. You know what I'm saying? Because like they're using the strobo units, but they're different cushioning setups. Like if you want the softer cushion, go with the PG4s. If you want the bouncier cushion, get the KD12s. I mean, support and lockdown, materials and all that, I would say they're both good. and the performance on traction is pretty similar. I would say, like I said, the PG4 is a little bit better on dust, minus I guess the solid rubber outsole, which I haven't tried on the KD12s. But personally for me, I would have to say I like the PG4s better. So that's the Versus video. Again, if you guys want to cop, I'll leave links below. They're both incredible performers, so you can't really go wrong with either of the shoes. But that's it. Hope that helped you guys out in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.